Welcome students, welcome to the Accountancy Point where we study the various accounting concepts for class 11 and 12. I have come today with a new topic for class 11 that is based on accounting equation. Today we will understand the meaning of accounting equation, how to derive accounting equation, and we'll solve a sum and see how to prepare this, how to solve a sum in order to ensure the equation which is known as the accounting equation. Before we start, I would like to request you all to please subscribe to the channel Accountancy Point and press the bell icon before we move ahead. Now, children, we will start the video today. The topic, this is video number 7 based on the accounting equation for class 11. Before we move ahead, let us understand the meaning of accounting equation. Accounting equation is a mathematical expression. It is nothing but it is a mathematical expression which says that the assets of a firm are equal to the sum total of its liabilities and capital. That means this is the equation which we are talking of. This is the asset, the total of assets is equal to the sum total of capital and liabilities. Now children, this accounting equation is based on the concept which is called the double aspect concept. If you remember, we had discussed about the double aspect concept in the chapter of GAAP. If you have not seen the video, please watch the video so that you may have a better understanding. The dual aspect concept says that each and every transaction has two aspects, such as if there is a business transaction, so the transaction of the business will have two aspects. First aspect will get, one of the aspects will get debited, whereas the other aspect will get credited with the same amount. That means the total of the debit side is always equal to the total of credit side, and that is why the balance sheet, when it is prepared, both the sides of the balance sheet is always equal. So now with the help of these two sides, these two aspects, we are just going to derive the accounting equation. But before we talk about accounting equation, let us understand a basic concept which we have earlier already discussed, but still once again I repeat it. Let's suppose when any businessman starts business, so he will invest certain amount either in the form of cash or any asset, so he will introduce into the business. Let's suppose a businessman introduces 5 lakhs. So what is that called? That is called his capital. Besides that, suppose when the business was started, the businessman felt that this 5 lakh is not enough to continue the business. He wants rupees 3 lakhs more. So what he will do? He may borrow it. He may borrow it from his friends, relatives. He may take loan from the bank. So this is the amount which he has taken from outside, so he will have to pay it. So this is called your liability. Now the total amount which is available in the business is rupees 8 lakhs. With this 8 lakhs, this particular businessman started the business. So what will happen now? Suppose with this 8 lakh, he first of all bought certain raw materials and he added into his stock and started producing the goods. The stock was of rupees 1,50,000. He needed machines to produce, so he bought machines of rupees 3 lakhs. He needed place where he had to install the machines, so he bought factory building. The building cost him rupees 2,50,000 once again. Now he bought some tools and other implements, so that was all of rupees, let's suppose of 1 lakh. So the total amount which he used this in his business in order to do the production and sell it is of rupees 3251617 18 lakhs. Now what you can see over here, that the total amount of these, since it is his, these are those properties which will help him in continuing the process of production. That is why they are called assets. These things will yield him income, revenue in the future. That is why these are considered the assets. Now if you see, the total of the assets is equivalent to the amount of capital and liability. So now when you come back with the same concept, children, all the assets are always debited and the liabilities are always credited. So if I take the concept of dual aspect or the double entry system, I have the concept that the total of debit is equal to total of credit. So can I write that all the assets are equal to the liabilities? Now children, about the liabilities, I had taught you in my video number 3. If you have not watched the video number 3, please watch the video number 3. The link is shared in the description column. If you remember, I had told you that assets are of two types: internal liabilities and external liabilities. Internal liabilities plus external liabilities. Now, internal liabilities, once again, assets is equal to internal liabilities means the amount which the business has to return back to its owner. So this is also known as owner's equity, or in short, it is, you can say this is owner's equity. And the external liabilities means the liabilities which you have to pay to the outsiders. So it is also known as outsiders equity, or this is also known as debt or loan, or any amount which you have to pay to the outsiders. So ultimately, what can I write? Instead of owner's equity, this is known as capital, plus outsiders equity or debt. For that we use the term external liabilities or the liabilities. So this is what we get the accounting equation. And because of that, when we prepare the balance sheet, on the balance sheet, on the left hand side, we show the liabilities and capital. This is amount. And on the right hand side, we show all the assets. So because of the double aspect or dual aspect concept or double entry system, the total of the liability side is always equal to the total of asset side. It is why? It is because of, on the basis of the dual aspect concept. So because of that, the total of my balance sheet is always equal. But remember, as soon as you have prepared the balance sheet and the next transaction takes place, the entire equation will get changed. Besides that, children, one more thing which you have to keep in mind, that the rules for debit and credit are same for liabilities and capital. Why are they so? Why are both of them considered as the same, the rules for debit and credit? Remember children, about the capital, I had taught you in the chapter of GAAP, the concept was business entity concept. This is also known as accounting entity concept. Both are the same. So in this concept, while teaching, while explaining, I had explained that the amount which is invested by the businessman is considered as, that is called liability, and that is considered a that is called capital, and it is considered as a liability because whenever the owner wants, it has to be returned back. That is why the rule for debit and credit are considered same for capital and liabilities. Both of them, they both are liabilities. The only difference is capital is the internal liability, and when we say liabilities, we mean external liabilities. So the rule for both of them is always same. That is, both of them always have a credit balance. So because of that, the rule for capital and liabilities, the rule for debit and credit for liabilities and capital are always same. Now let us talk about some of the usefulness of accounting equation. What is the benefit of preparing accounting equation? Accounting equation is the basis for double entry system, because it shows that because of the double entry system, the accounting equation holds the truth and it always is correct. Second, it is the basis for balance sheet. It is because of the accounting equation, it is because of the double entry system that balance sheet, both the sides of the balance sheet always equal. Ensures the accuracy of accounting work. We cannot say the complete accuracy, but at least arithmetical accuracy can be determined correctly with the help of the accounting equation. Now we will take up a sum and see how to prepare accounting equation. So children, this is the question which I have taken to clear the concept of how to prepare a question on accounting equation. Question is, prepare accounting equation with the help of the following information provided by Ashok General Store. The first one is, Ashok started business with cash rupees 2,50,000. So children, what I would expect you all to do is, just as a working note, okay, as the working note, you just divide, you just make these two columns. On one of the sides you write all the assets and the other side you write the liabilities. I am asking you to do so that you will be able to know how many columns will you need for your format of the equation. Now over here, what is going to happen? Ashok is a starting business. So whenever any person starts business, what is that called? That is called capital. So capital will come under the head liabilities, because you can write liabilities and capital. Okay. So capital is one of the liabilities, so I will write it on the liability side, or I may also write Ashok's capital or only capital. Now he is starting his business with rupees how much? Starting with cash rupees 2,50,000. So what is cash for you? Cash is an asset, because this cash will help you in buying assets which will help you in further production. Second one is, opened a bank account with rupees 50,000. So how can you open a bank account? In order to open a bank account, you will have to deposit money into bank, deposit cash into bank. That means there are two things involved. One, your cash account will reduce and your bank account will increase. So these are the two things. Third one, you have taken a loan of rupees 1,50,000 from bank. So what are the aspects? Find out the aspects first. You are taking loan, bank loan. So what is bank loan for the business? The business has to return the money to the bank. So bank loan is a liability. But when you take loan, what comes to you? You will receive cash. So obviously bank does not pay loan amount in cash, so you can add it, your bank balance will increase. Now you have purchased goods for cash. So whenever there is a term goods, please consider it as a stock for this particular chapter. So what will happen when you purchase goods? Your stock will increase, and stock is your asset. And when you are buying for cash. That means you will pay cash. So your cash will decrease. You have already written cash, so need not write it once again. Purchased machines for cash. You are buying machine. Machine is an asset. So I will write the name machines. And how have you purchased? You purchased it for cash. So your cash will go away, will decrease. Purchased goods on credit. So once again, since it is talking about purchased goods, that means we are talking about stock. And on credit, when we buy goods on credit, the person or the firm from whom we buy goods on credit are called our creditors. And who are they? They are my liabilities. So creditors I will write on my liability side. Stock is already over here. Sold goods for cash, rupees 40,000. So once again, it is about selling goods. So selling goods means as soon as word goods come, you are supposed to refer to stock. And we are selling it for cash. We already have a cash account over here. Once again, sold goods. So for this, what do we need? Stock. and we are selling goods. It's not mentioned for cash or on credit, so we'll consider it as for cash. So we have sold goods for cash of rupees 10,000 for rupees 15,000. That means there are three things involved in this particular transaction. We are selling goods, means a stock, and when we are selling, we are receiving cash. So cash is another. How much cash are we receiving? We will receive 15,000. But what was the value of the goods? 10,000. So goods of 10,000 is sold for 15,000. That means there is a profit of how much? 15,000. Sorry, 5,000. That profit will increase my capital. So I will add that profit to my capital. Paid to creditor. I have already the name of creditor written, so no need to write. I am paying it, so my cash will decrease, and it says in full settlement of his account. So over here, how much am I paying? 24,000. So whereas I had purchased goods on credit of how much? 25,000. That means I was supposed to pay him 25,000, but I just paid him 25,000 and 24,000, and he was satisfied. That means he gave me a discount of 1,000. So that discount was received by the business. So that is a profit once again. So it will increase my capital. Paid rent and cash. These are the two things. Cash I have already written. Rent is an expense because I am paying it. So expense will reduce my capital. Once again, salary. I am paying salary. So my cash will decrease and my capital will also decrease because it is an expense. Received commission. I am receiving commission, so my cash will increase and my capital will also increase because it is a revenue which is going to incur. So ultimately, children, you have to keep few things in mind, that for all the expenses, please reduce cash and reduce capital. For all the revenues or the profits, you will increase your cash or bank and you will increase your capital. Okay, so these are the few things which you need to keep in mind. Now I will make a format based on these classifications. I need 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 columns on my asset side and 1, 2, 3. 3 columns on my liability side. I will make the format and then we'll continue the sum. This is the beginning of the format. First of all, I have drawn 2 lines. Over here on my left hand side, I will write this assets. Cap is equal to capital plus liabilities. Children, this is the accounting equation which you must write first of all. Then you draw another line, and over here you will write the name of all the items which you are going to make under the head assets or liabilities. So under the head assets, which are the accounts? Cash, bank, stock and machine. So I will write first of all cash. I draw the lines like this. Then I will write, first of all, I must keep a line for writing the transactions. Okay. So I'll write first of all the transactions over here. Transactions. Then one column for cash. Second column is for bank. Then we need stock. And then we need machines. I'm just writing in short machines. I will make this. Now I have to draw the column for this equal. So just make a bifurcation over here. You can write equal. Capital. On the liability side, you need capital, bank loan and creditors. So one column for capital, other column for bank loan, and third column is for creditors. So this is how we make the format of accounting equation. Now there is no need of this, so I'm just rubbing it off. This was needed only to know how many columns do we need to draw. Now I'm just extending these lines so that we'll be able to record the transactions, all the transactions. Please pay attention carefully how to record transactions in the accounting equation. What is your first transaction? Ashok started business with cash rupees 2,50,000. So here you will write 1, transaction number 1, business started. Okay. Now when business is started, what are the two things happening? First of all, Ashok is a starting business, so his capital will increase, and he is starting the business with cash, so cash will also increase. So I will write 2,50,000 in the cash column, and at the same time I will write 2,50,000 on the under the head capital. Now if you see, isn't your both the sides equal till now? Cash debits with this side also 2,50,000 and liability side also total is 2,50,000. That means your accounting equation is correct till now. Now record the second transaction over here itself without doing anything else. What is your second transaction? The second transaction says opened a bank account with rupees 50,000. So what will happen? Here I'll just write opened bank account. In short, you need not write everything in detail. You just need to write in short opened bank account. So when you will open bank account, what will happen? Your cash, how will you open your bank account? You will deposit cash into bank. That means cash will reduce. So minus from cash. How much have you deposited into bank? 50,000. So from your cash you will decrease 50,000 and money will get deposited in your bank. So your bank balance will increase by 50,000. Now children, after writing these two transactions, always remember, first of all you will write first two transactions and after that you will draw a line over here. The full line to be drawn till the end. And you will write over here new equation. New equation. What is the new equation? See over here. How much was the cash earlier? 2,50,000 minus 50,000. So how much is the balance? 2 lakhs. Bank, earlier there was 0. Now we have deposited 50,000. That means plus 50,000. So what is here? 2,50,000 total on this side. Whereas still on the other side, how much you have? You have only under the capital 2,50,000. So don't you see both the sides are still equal? That means till now we have not made any mistake and the accounting equation holds the truth. Now we will record the third transaction. Remember, once again I repeat, first new equation should be after first two transactions, and then after each transaction you are supposed to calculate the new equation. What is the third transaction? Third transaction is you have taken a bank loan. You have taken a loan from bank for rupees 1,50,000. So what will happen? When you will take loan from bank, your bank never gives you in cash. It will deposit the money in your bank. So your bank balance will increase. Isn't it? So here I will just write bank loan. Okay. So because of this bank loan, my bank balance will increase, and bank loan is a liability. So under the liability head, I will write 1,50,000. My liability has increased. Okay. Now, since I told you after first two transactions, after each transaction, you will make the new equation. So you will draw the line and you will once again write new equation. Now, what will happen over here? What is the cash balance left now? There is no change in cash, so it is still 2 lakh. You will have to write it. On the bank, 50,000 was earlier plus 1,50,000. Once again, it has become 2 lakhs. No items for stock and machines, equal to sign I will give in this particular column, and no change in capital. So capital is still 2,50,000, and my bank loan has become 1,50,000 now. If you check 2 lakh plus 2 lakh, 4 lakhs, and 2,50,000 plus 1,50,000 means 4 lakhs. That means both the sides are still equal. Now transaction number 4. What is transaction number 4? We have purchased goods for cash. So when we will buy goods for cash, so I'll just write over here cash purchases. So when I will buy goods for cash, that means what is the effect on the business. My cash will decrease because I will pay when I will buy goods. So my cash will decrease, and since it is related to goods, so goods will affect your stock. So your stock will also increase. Over here we have purchased goods for rupees 30,000 for cash. So my cash will reduce by 30,000 and my stock will increase by rupees 30,000. After this, once again I will draw the line and I will write new equation. What is the current situation now? 2 lakhs minus 30,000, 1,70,000. Bank balance, no change. Stock, now it is 30,000. Nothing for machines yet. Capital side is still 2,50,000. No change in capital, no change in bank loan. They will be written as it is. So this is my new equation, current situation. Now transaction number 5. What is transaction number 5? Purchase machine for cash, rupees 50,000. So what will be the impact? Machine purchased. So when you will purchase machine, what will happen? What are the two things happening? You are getting machine and cash is going out. So your machine will increase and cash will decrease by 50,000 and machine will increase by 50,000. So after this, what is the status? New equation once again. How much is it? 1,20,000. This is 2 lakhs. This is 30,000. This is 50,000. No change in the capital, so it is still 2,50,000. No change in bank loan, so it is still 1,50,000. If you add all these items of assets, it will be equivalent to 4 lakhs. Just check it. 1,20,000 plus 2 lakhs, 3,20,000 plus 30,000, 3,50,000 plus 50,000, 4 lakhs. So it is still equal on both the sides. Transaction number 6. What is transaction? Purchase goods on credit, rupees 25,000. Children, since we are buying goods, since it is related to goods, so it will affect my stock. Okay, I will just write over here credit purchases. So when I will buy goods on credit, my stock will obviously increase. I have purchased goods of 25,000. So my stock will increase by 25,000. But what will be the impact? I am buying it on credit. Firm or people from whom we buy goods on credit are called our creditors. So I have not paid them. I will pay in future. So my liability, my creditor has increased. So after this, what is the new equation? See over here. New equation is 1,20,000. No change in cash. No change in bank. Over here stock has become of 55,000. Machines are still of 50,000. Capital 2,50,000. Bank loan 1,50,000, no change, and creditors have increased by 25,000. Now, children, what is the next? You see over here, sold goods for cash, rupees 40,000. So when we will sell goods, it is what? Goods. Goods means what will be affected? Stock. We are selling stock. So what will happen? My stock will decrease. And I am selling for what? For cash. So my next transaction, I will write cash sales. So when there will be a cash sale, I will receive cash. How much? 40,000. So I have added in my cash 40,000. And what is the other thing going to be affected? Stock. Because when I will sell, my stock will reduce. So it is decreasing by 40,000. So after this, what is the new equation? See over here. New equation. It will be how much? 1,60,000. 1,20,000 plus 40. No change in bank loan yet. 15,000 is left in stock. 55 minus 40. And 50,000 over here for machines. Capital, no change, 2,50,000. Bank loan, still 1,50,000, no change. Creditors 25,000, no change. Now, the next, sold goods costing rupees 10,000 for rupees 15,000. Now, please compare. What are the things, what are the aspects in this particular transaction? There are three things happening. We are selling goods. So, since the goods are involved, so which account will be affected? Stock. What will happen? We are selling. So, my stock will decrease. How much? I am selling my goods. What is its cost? 10,000. So my stock will get reduced by 10,000. It will minus 10,000. Now I am selling goods. Nothing is mentioned. Let's suppose for cash, it's nothing is mentioned. So I will assume that the goods have been sold for cash. So what will happen? The other aspect is cash. I am selling. I have sold it for how much? 15,000. So how much will I get? I will get a cash of rupees 15,000. But goods of rupees 10,000 when I sold for 15,000, what is the another effect? What is the another account? What is happening? There is a profit. Profit of how much? 5,000. So as I had told you earlier that whenever there is a profit or a revenue, it will affect your capital. Your capital will get increased. In case of any loss, your capital will get decreased. So here I will write transaction number 8, credit sales. So what is going to happen? My stock will be minus 10,000. So from my stock I will reduce 10,000. I am getting cash of 15,000 because I sold it for rupees 15,000. And because of this there is a profit. So my profit will increase my capital by rupees 5,000. So what is my new status now? My new equation is 1,75,000. 2 lakhs bank loan, 5,000 stock is left, 50,000 machines are there, 2,55,000 is the capital now, 1,50,000 is the bank loan, and 25,000 are my creditors. Now transaction number 9. What is transaction number 9? Please read it. Transaction number 9 says paid to creditors rupees 24,000. In full settlement, as soon as you see full settlement, that means there is a discount of his account. So what are the accounts involved over here? We are paying to creditors. What are we paying? Cash. Nothing is mentioned, that means cash. So cash will decrease. How much are we paying? 24,000. To whom? Creditors. So since I am paying my creditors, so my creditors will also decrease. How much were my creditors? If you see the equation, your creditors are of rupees 25,000. And the sentence says we have paid to creditors in full settlement. That means the account of creditor is completely closed. So how much have we paid? 25,000 to creditors. So my entire creditor is getting cancelled. That means I was supposed to be paid 25,000. But how much have I paid? 24,000. So once again, that means I have got a discount. I got a discount. Discount has been received because my creditor has allowed me the discount. So I have received it. The discount is of rupees 1,000. Since I have received the discount, so it is profit for me. I had to pay more, I have paid less. So I will just write over here, creditors paid. My cash will decrease by 24,000 because I have paid only this much. Whereas in full settlement of the account, that means the entire account will be closed now. So I was to pay 25,000, I have paid 24,000 only. I have paid less, so I'm at a profit. I got a discount of 1,000, so that will increase my capital. So after this, what is the new equation? New equation is 0,0054151, 2 lakhs, 5,000, stock is still left, furniture, machines 50,000, capital is 2,56,000 now, no change in bank loan, and this has become 0 because we have completely paid them off. Now what is the next? Paid rent. Now when it comes to expenses, children, please remember that whenever we are involved with rent, that means there are two things, cash and rent, because it does not say we have paid rent by check. Nothing is mentioned, so we'll consider cash. So when we will pay, so my cash will decrease by 2000, and rent is an expense. And as I wrote earlier, children, that all expenses will reduce your capital. So here I will write point number 10, rent paid. What will I write? Minus, I paid rent of rupees 2000. So my cash will decrease by 2000 and my capital will also decrease by 2000 because it is an expense. All the expenses will reduce your capital because your revenue, your income will get reduced. So what is the new equation now? We'll calculate new equation after each transaction except for the first two transactions. 1,49,000, 2 lakhs, 5,000, no change in all these. So we'll just copy them down. 2,54,000, 1,50,000, and this has become 0. Now what is the next equation? Next one is paid salary. So once again, salary is what? Salary is an expense. We are paying how much? 5,000. So my cash will once again decrease by 5,000 and my capital will also decrease by rupees 5,000. So after this, what is my new equation? New equation is 1,44,000, 2 lakhs, no changes over here, 5,000, no change, 50,000, no change, over here 2,49,000 because it is decreasing, 1,50,000, no change, 0. Last transaction is 12th number, that is commission received. So commission is your revenue, you are receiving it. So what will you receive? Cash will increase by rupees 10,000, and since it's a revenue, so it will affect your capital. This will increase your revenue, so your revenue will increase and capital will also increase. So plus 10,000 in cash and plus 10,000 in your capital. Now after this, since this was the last transaction of this particular question, we will not write new equation. We will write final equation. Okay. So final equation will be 1,54,000, 2 lakhs, 5,000, 50,000 is equal to 2,59,000, 1,50,000. No creditor. Now children, this was what was your accounting equation. You can show this in your balance sheet also. If you are asked in some of the questions, they also ask the students to prepare the balance sheet and show. So you will just prepare the balance sheet. Remember, the format of the balance sheet is on the left hand side we show the liabilities, capital and liabilities, amount over here, and on the right hand side we show the assets and amount. Now if you check, these are your assets. Which are your assets? These four: cash, bank, stock and machines. So write them under the head assets, cash, and please write the last final equation. How much is cash? 1,54,000. What is the second? Bank. What is the final part? 2 lakhs. Final equation, 2 lakhs of bank. Stock. What is the final equation of stock? 5,000. What is the last one? Machines. This will also come under assets. What is the final amount? 50,000. Now go on the liability side. What is your first item? Capital. You will write over here, and we will write the final equation. What is the final equation over there? 2,59,000. So we will write 2,59,000. And next one is bank loan. So we'll write bank loan over here and we'll see the final amount. How much is the final amount? 1,50,000. And the creditor is there, but the final amount is 0. So they need not be written. Now if you add both the sides, it must be equal. So add over here, it is 4,09,000. And if you add this side, it is 0, 0, 0, 4, 5, 9, 5, 5, 10, carry 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 4,09,000. So both the sides of the balance sheet is equal, and this is the proof that the accounting equation is always true. At whichever point you prepare the balance sheet, after whichever transaction, both the sides of your balance sheet will always be equal. And this is how, children, we solve the sums of accounting equation. Hope this particular video will help you a lot in solving the sums. Please like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe to Accountancy Point. Thank you.